I lived through the 60s living in New York, which was a great experience. And that summer happened to be the summer that my family moved to Tucson. So I stayed at my aunt's house in New York that summer and was going to summer school. And my closest friend and I, in fact, we had gone the summer before, we spent in Mexico City during the Olympics and went there. And we were going to a lot of concerts in New York that summer. The posters were everywhere in the city. So we bought our tickets early and we decided to go. I had a pretty large car, so my car was the car we were going to take. And the four of us went, three guys and a girl. And we left early enough Friday morning that we had hit some traffic also, but we got through all the way up to the parking lots. But once we were there, we were there. We weren't leaving. Since we knew we were going to be gone for 3 days, we had planned a little bit, evidently not sufficiently, but we had food, we had some clothing, we had tarps. Two of us would sleep in the car and two of us would use a tarp and sleep outside on the ground. The biggest thing I remember was the music. Because we were there so early and we stayed the entire time, I got a chance to really enjoy most of the music. The opening act, which I remember, was Richie Havens. He opened with the song Freedom, which remains one of my favorites to this day. So I don't know how well known Santana was at the time, but I fell in love with the music that they played also. One of my favorite bands, which I loved, was Joe Cocker. I love his music. But all the music was great. You were high most of the time, so the music always sounded good. We were with friends. We went with four of us, but of course we met people and made other friends, and we actually sat in the same general area all 3 days. And so we met up and we kept meeting the same people, and some people we would trade some pot for some food, or some people needed food or needed pot. Everybody was sharing things, and the atmosphere was very generous and very, everybody got along really well. To be trite, love, and music, it was all about that for the whole weekend. Hendrix, enjoying Joplin, all the great artists. You know, when we were in the coming up to the concert, everybody's talking about, are you going to the show? You know, they kept bringing up these names of people who were going to be in the show, and it was like, how could you not go and see all that great music? It was fantastic. And so it was a wonderful experience. Again, not realizing what we were living through at the time, how significant a musical and 60s experience it was made it special in hindsight. Fabulous experience. Left New York 2 days later, drove to Tucson with 1 8-track tape of Led Zeppelin the entire way. Huh. And then when I was on the way back, started hearing about, you reading the papers and listening to the radio, and about how special it was and significant it was. And something that we talk about with friends still to this day and value the time. You know the feeling that it generates. You know the feeling that people get from it. And the extraordinary experience we had, it's hard to explain to somebody who wasn't there, but we certainly, you can probably tell in our smiles and how we talk about it, that it was something unforgettable.